Hello there, how you doing? Don't panic, it's not another episode. You haven't slept and suddenly thought, my God, has an entire week gone by already? No, no, no. This is just pointing out something that I realised from yesterday. I posted on Instagram this, which was an image from the movie Tora, Tora, Tora in 1970. And what you see is three guys flying through the air, right? There's been an explosion on board a ship and three guys flying through the air. Well, those three guys, Charlie Pacherny, Joe Finnegan, and Benny Dobbins. Now, this is important in the general history of action because that is the first ever occasion that an air ram was used on screen anywhere. So we'll just think about that for a moment. You remember we did McHugh in the series a little while back, and Gary McClarty was the first guy to roll a car down a beach using a cannon. A cannon placed behind the driver's seat, slide the car, push the button, boom, over it goes, right? That's the first time that was ever done. And this is the first occasion when the air ram was used, and an air ram is effectively compressed air, and you stand on it in a certain, you have to run along, stand on it, and it fires up into the air like this, and you are then sent yonder in whichever way you need to be for the scene. Now in this case the guys obviously need to be, Charlie Pacherny's the one that's got the arrow on him, and he is the one that stands on it and goes over the rail and then into the water. But they all used them. So there was three of them, and they all got explosion, blown up, and then sent over the rail and into the water. And it got me thinking about Charlie Pacherny, because an extraordinary stuntman and stunt performer, as many of you will know if you are fans of the business, and his name is synonymous with shows like Starsky and Hutch, for instance, where he was coordinator on many of those episodes. Also responsible for driving the Torino, because he was Paul Michael Glazer's double throughout the show. And also appeared in many of the episodes as hoods, villains, you name it, because he got a great face, really good look about him, and could be used, and was good with dialogue too, right? So you've got to have a number of things on your side. You can say the words and you look good. Well, that's not bad for starters, and he's an action man. So you put all of that together and you get Charlie Pacherny. Now, Charlie has gone on, of course, to coordinate action on some of the greatest movies around. Die Hard, for instance, is a great example of Charlie at work throughout that series, being the stunt coordinator. But there are gags which have happened in film, and everybody, or when I say everybody, a majority of people are convinced that the actor has been responsible for it. That's how good the doubles are in certain cases, that something is performed and you look at it on film and you go, wow, that's the actor. The edit was so smooth in certain cases that you never think for a moment that there has been a second where the actor has stepped away and the double has taken over. It's not a two-man switch. We've discussed the two-man switch before. There's no issue, for instance, in certain situations where you can get away with it. There's nowhere for the actor to pass behind and the double to take over. So in certain cases you look at it and go, right, and then on the basis of that, it is then ramped up by either the actor themselves or people who have worked on the production, who claim that the actor did in fact do this particular gag. Point in fact is a gag from a Burt Reynolds movie called Seamus. And for years, and hopefully we'll have the clip running here so you'll be able to see it, Burt jumps, he's being chased. He gets away from somebody. He is now in a situation where he's got to get from point A to point B. The only way to do that is to jump from a wall into a tree and then climb down the tree and get away. What happens is this. He jumps, grabs a branch snaps, hits the ground. It's a big fall. For an actor, it's a big fall. Yes, Burt was a stuntman prior to being, the man. But even still, that is some go. That's a real hefty fall, heavy fall, hits the ground hard. Looks as though he's in quite a lot of discomfort. I'm not for a moment suggesting that, that would have been, when you hit the ground, we need you to act. No, I think there's no acting required. So that's my understanding of it, is that Burt did this, and people go, Jesus, that Burt Reynolds, he's amazing. He was a stuntman, and then he's asked to do this thing. I'll do it myself, and he does it, and he jumps out, he grabs the branch snaps, and he hits the ground like a sack of potatoes, and then he's seen crawling through the trees and carries on with the rest of the scene. Wow, Burt, what a guy! And then, like 15 years later, and if this has come as a shock to anybody, it comes as a shock to me. But if anybody else is in the same boat, please let me know in the comments below. But it turns out that wasn't Burt Reynolds doing that. It was Charlie Picerni. Charlie doubling for Burt Reynolds in the movie Seamus, jumping from the wall to the bridge. Now, the branch. Since I have found out this information, which wasn't that long, this week in fact, I've watched that scene over and over and over again, trying to find a point where I can go, that's where the edit happens. That's where I can't do it. I can't do it. It still looks like Burt. I've slowed it down. Still looks like Burt. I mean, I think that Charlie Picerni, not only good-looking guy, says the lines, so he can act, he can do the physical thing. Bit of a chameleon. I mean, a serious chameleon. Described by certain people as, you need to be in this particular role. What's my character? Oh, he does this, he does this, he does that. Boom, next thing you look back and Charlie has become the character. I think that that's what's happened here. He's kind of morphed his way into Burt, or that character that he's playing. And to jump from the wall, which is, 20 feet, 25 feet, maybe a bit more, across to, could even be a bit more, could be 30 feet, and then onto that branch, which then snaps, and he plummets to the ground. Oh, man. That is serious, serious work. And I only found this out this week, so I'm sharing this with you. If you've already known this, why did you keep it to yourself? Huh? People need to know this stuff. Why did you keep it to yourself? Let us know. But if it has come as a surprise to you, well, you've learned something new for a Friday, and I want to thank you all very much indeed for your continued support. That was fantastic. I couldn't believe it. I watched it again and again. Plenty more fantastic Charlie moments to come. Big fan of Charlie, so we'll check out more as it comes. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.